Good morning, afternoon, or evening for those who are watching this. This is Tim Cook coming to you from Apple headquarters, and I'm going to show you how to make your own little LFO tool for if you don't have that scratch to buy that. It's a very helpful sidechaining tool, and I think it actually does a better job than Ableton's sidechain compression. You know, it's an extra cost. So you know, if you're a little low on cash and you want something like this, we can make this in Ableton, and that's what I'm going to show you today. So for the purpose of that, I built this little beat, and this beat is built from elements of out of our drum pack called West Coast House Volume 2, and it'll be available in the upcoming months. And you'll definitely hear about that on this channel once it's released. So I built this little beat. Top loop. Clap. Now we add the bass line, and here's where the trouble comes in. So this is why we generally need sidechaining to kind of weave the bass within, you know, the track that we have, and not mess around with the kick anymore. This is why we need sidechaining. So the way these plugins are doing it is they're actually dipping the volume. They're not doing sidechain compression so much, that they're just allowing you to draw a curve on the volume. So it's basically more volume automation, and we can do that in Ableton pretty sufficiently, and it's very easy to set up. And this is how you would kind of build your Ghetto LFO tool, as I call it. But let me first show you the problem here. So this bass line lies right on top of everything, which is not what we want, right? We want it to be integrated with the loop, and this is where you typically go to either your sidechaining compressor, or maybe you want to be you know, some of you guys use glue compressor and sidechain that way. But there's a way to do it with utility tools. So let's set this up. I am going to group this, and I'm going to map this gain to macro 1, and I'm gonna call this sidechain. And you map this by going to right click, and then just go to macro 1. You can easily group things by pressing Control G, or was that Command G on Apple. And now what I want to do here is I want to go to the map function, and the map function allows us to dial in values here. So what I want to do is here do 0 dBs and infinite dBs minus. So that means like it's totally quiet when it hits that mark. I want to invert the range here, because I want, when this is on top, I want the full volume to come through. When this is on the bottom, I want it to be quiet. Okay, so you can kind of see where we're going with this, right? We want to automate this thing here, and we do so obviously by going to our automation here. And this is where it kind of gets, it's the same thing as LFO tool, basically, where you get to draw in the line of, hey, where do I want my signal to come back up? We can do that easily also here with the utility tool. So what I'm going to do is make a node there, make a node here. So this is the very first basic kind of sidechaining curve that you can make here. Let's duplicate this. And we want to duplicate this not by you know, selecting the whole thing, but just this little lane here, because if we go like this, we'll duplicate the audio as well. We just want to duplicate the automation. So now we have that 4 times in a row. We should have a decent sidechain set up here. Okay, good, but not good enough. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna nuance that a little bit. So let's maybe go here. And what I'm going to do here is press down Alt, which allows me to move this node freely. So we can get way more specific curves now. So we're not bound to the grid, but we can kind of dial it in as we want to. So maybe this thing needs to come up a little bit later, because that kick is pretty heavy. It's pretty long. So we're gonna duplicate this again. Boom, boom, boom. Takes 4 little keystrokes. And let's try this again. Okay, maybe a little bit too heavy. Let's go a little bit like this. Maybe it needs to come up a little bit earlier. So this is always kind of, you know, trial and error. Like, hey, what works best with this kick? Okay, I would say maybe like that a little bit. So the only thing is, okay, you'll have to press Control D a couple of times. But hey, this is free, you know? Okay, that's better. That's like the curve that we kind of need. So what we do now is, again, we're going to select only the automation lane and do go Control D. All right, so that's your LFO Ghetto. Let's call this Ghetto LFO tool. You know, I would say save this in your audio effect rack thingies. And you can pull it up whenever you're like, hey, I need the good side chaining. Maybe the Ableton side chaining is having that click problem at the end, which it's kind of known for. Then you can go like, hey, I'll try this Ghetto LFO tool thing, and I think it should be pretty useful. It's free, you know. It's a cool way of doing side chaining, and you can really get very specific on how you want to dial this side chaining in. So yeah, that was my tutorial here. There'll be lots more coming up. There's track breakdowns by artists that have released on our label, track breakdowns on specific tracks that have released on our labels. We got Contrive coming up. We got 96 Vibe coming up. We got Latour coming up. We got Echo Boy coming up. We got a track breakdown by me. So there's lots of goodies here to come on the channel, which we're very excited about showing you. So keep it here, man. Keep maybe subscribe on the channel. Give us a thumbs up. Tell your mom about us, your uncle at the next birthday. Everything helps, you know. So yeah, that was it for now. Hope you guys have a good day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.